A study is an observational or experimental. We got those two options when we're talking about a study. Observational, experimental. And the difference between the two is that an experimental study is when the researchers do something to influence the variables they're studying. Like the researchers shock the patient or something like that. You know, they delivered an electronic shock to the person, zap them. They're experimenting on them. Okay. Observational study, researchers are hands off. They're just collecting data. You know, maybe researchers go out in the wild, they observe some animals, and they say, okay, these animals are feral, these animals are not. We're going to look at the feral animals more closely. They're not making the animals be feral. They're just observing them. Okay? So in this particular example, the study at the university had 102 volunteers, and they separated them into groups based on tests to determine how often they lied and cheated. Okay, so there's people that lie, people that cheated, and there's people that didn't do either of these things. They're not making them lie. They're not making them cheat, right? They're just observing that it appears that they've lied and they cheated, and they put them into a group. So this is an observational study. They're not changing the variables. They're just looking at the variables. So those with the tendency to lie had different brain structure than those who did not lie. This is an observational study, and it is case controlled. Okay, so this is the option we want to pick. It's case controlled because the researchers are taking particular cases, you know, the people who lie, and they're looking at their brains. And they're looking at a particular case when people don't lie, and they look at their brains. If it wasn't case controlled, they'd just take the 102 volunteers, look at all their brains, and not separate them into those groups.